As the devices that power our lives continue to advance in complexity, packing more power into smaller packages, how can product manufacturers respond with new solutions? That's the challenge Molex, a Koch company that creates electronic connectors, faces every day. In this episode of Koch Makes This, we'll take a closer look at how Molex created a first-of-its-kind connector for smart devices.
これは新しい構造を持ったコネクターになります。
This one is quite disruptive idea in the market.
Component needs to be smaller.
We had to think out of the box, do things very differently.
Thinking outside the box led to a new Molex innovation called the Quad-Row connector, a board-to-board connector initially developed for smartwatches that has become an integral component for a major smartphone manufacturer.
Quad-Row は基板と基板をつなぐ電気的な接続をするコネクターになります。大きさは米粒サイズのコネクターになります。
Thinking about the inception of Quad-Row 8-9 years ago, when we start thinking about how we can be more relevant to the consumer market.
Smartphone is getting bigger, but inside of the phone is more like complexity. The more camera, button and antenna, chipset, and getting bigger battery.
The problem that we defined for ourselves was, okay, we have to create a connector which is radically smaller than what is out there in the market.
This push to squeeze more components into less space is called microminiaturization, and Molex Japan has been at the forefront for decades. It's a necessary consideration when working on electronic product development.
For us to go from incremental product development process to something that's kind of a moonshot, we need to have a different mindset.
通常の製品は2列のコンタクトになっておりますが、Quad-Row は4列のコンタクト。
The spacing between the two signal contacts is 0.35 millimeter. It's extremely tight. Quad-Row is 0.175, half of that. Instead of having them in a series, we have them in a series and we have them next to each other. So it's like double the density, essentially.
This staggered contact design is what truly makes Quad-Row novel, because it creates more functionality for customers in an even smaller package.
We are visiting in customers, contract manufacturer to evaluate the soldering mounting process and connector performance.
How can we be able to support the CMs, the flex manufacturers, in a way that they can use that product without disturbing their current processes too much.
That customer collaboration was a critical part of Quad-Row's development, as the design, engineering, and manufacturing teams at Molex wanted to ensure customers received the full benefits of this new design and could scale production effectively.
If you're going to make something which is half of the size that the smallest thing that you made until yesterday, is the biggest challenge that we had. But more so, to have a process that can support manufacturing that product in large volumes.
With the introduction of Quad-Row, the Molex team made sure its focus wasn't solely on its own processes, but also on the manufacturing challenges of its customers.
We need to make sure that Quad-Row design is actually working in our customers' devices.
Customer manufacturing assembly process is still manual operation. So even it's not connector issue, we're gonna support customer.
皆が集まってコラボレーションすることによっていい製品は完成します。
The Quad-Row team continues to push the limits of what's possible with this connector, whether it's improving circuit capacity or working on the next iteration of the technology. This commitment to partnership and innovation is a big part of what helps Molex stay ahead of the curve, while developing unique solutions that help their customers do the same.
We see more and more applications adopting Quad-Row as their go-to solution. And the collaboration across these different groups has been the key enabler to make that happen.
We need to be ready to grab a chance when it comes and that openness will be the key for us to make the innovation again.
So the next time you pull out your phone to check your socials, fire off a text message, or give someone a call, think about all the technology packed behind that big glass screen and all of the teamwork that went into keeping you connected to the world around you.